The Australian Grand Prix is over and we have a winner that once again isn't a Red Bull, and it's the same guy coming back to bite Red Bull once again. Let me talk you through the key points right now. And for those that are new to the channel, make sure you like the video, comment down below. It helps me grow this channel and build a community of F1. Please keep commenting, please keep liking, helps the channel. Enjoy the video. We can start with the obvious one. Max Verstappen did not finish the race. He pulled out on the third lap. He had a problem with the rear right brakes. He said it was from the start, it kind of got jammed on. He did show quite a lot of pace early though. He was very competitive with Sainz, if not slightly pulling away, makes a little mistake into turn 3. And then he ends up pulling out there as well. Chases for another lap, and then his end smoke comes out. It's all done, and it's over for him. He had to pull into the pits and finish his race there. The key problem with this is, it does throw a bit of a weird feeling onto Sainz, but Sainz has been fast all weekend. I think Sainz was going to take him all the way regardless, and I think he could have gone either way. There was clear pace from the Ferrari this week, and you think, is this finally the gap being closed? Red Bull don't look unbeatable at the moment. They don't look like they're the ones that are just going to run away with it. Obviously, last year, winning 21 of 22 races last year, Sainz winning the one other, which is why the irony comes in. Again, former from Red Bull, come down and comes back to bite them and stop that clean sweep they wanted last year. Perez, he's shown pace that just wasn't enough. He is showing why Max Verstappen is the lead driver and why it is his greatness as well as a great car that is taking him to the levels of where he is. But you have to look around and question a lot of things. When you look around the track, obviously Mercedes, no pace at all. It is just a horror show of a car. They have no understanding what's going on. They're just confused and lost. Aston Martin, I think, are secretly in the exact same bracket. They really should have taken a further step forward. I think at times they look better than Mercedes, but they have the capabilities to look worse. And I think Mercedes' main problem as well is in these high-speed corners or anything like that, they're just so slow. They're just not good enough there as well. McLaren obviously looked a lot closer to Ferrari than any of the others as well, and Ferrari look the ones closest to Red Bull. So I feel like we're starting to see the pattern of the season play out, and until upgrades start to come in, I'm not quite sure how it's going to filter out, but I think Ferrari are going to be able to take that step closer. And is Lewis Hamilton finished? He obviously didn't complete his race, had an engine failure, and he wasn't having a comfortable race anyway. He was kind of somewhere between 7th and 10th is where he was probably looking at. He was having a very midfield race. It wasn't really great. He just doesn't understand this car. He doesn't feel connected with it at all, and you can see that when you're watching him. It's not a comfortable watch, and it looks like he is finished in terms of if you talk about his performances. But one thing you know about Lewis is he starts to piece it all together. Once he's got a connection with the car, he's a complete different animal. That will come back, and I think by the time he gets to Ferrari next year, he'll be fully ready, fully amped up, point to prove, with the comfort of a car that I believe they're going to build to give him a challenge next year. I think he'll be right up there again. Will he be number 1 driver? We don't know. Obviously, Charles Leclerc, he's having an okay time and an okay season so far, but he's not particularly setting the world alight at the moment. At the time, it looks like, why are you getting rid of Sainz when all things? But obviously, Leclerc's a lot younger. He's going to grow. He's going to learn under Hamilton, and he is going to move forwards. Now, when you look across the rest of the field, everyone else is kind of filtering out into their own brackets. Obviously, Albon was the only Williams driver out there and just missing out on the points, finishing 11th. Does that justify them getting rid of Logan Sargent for the weekend? I'm not too sure, but if you're going to have your best bet for a point, Albon probably was going to be the guy. I didn't really see anywhere else you can go with it besides giving it to Albon. It's just a weird feeling to do, and it's not really something you expect considering it's Albon's fault. He had the crash, he had the moment that thingy, but obviously Logan Sargent loses his seat for the weekend. Nothing else to really report across it. I think when you kind of look at it, the main talking points are Hamilton and Verstappen going out. Hamilton looking, again, as I said, very disconnected, very uncomfortable. Alonso had a kind of floating in and out race. It wasn't anything setting the world alight. Obviously held off Russell at the end. Russell, I don't even know where to start with this one. Obviously he has a little flip, turns his race completely on its side. Sorry, just you have to do it. Obviously, it's a very weird looking crash. Obviously, the wheels now like stay tethered on, and it kind of keeps it connected. So obviously the wheel then flips under the car, tipping the car on its side. And it's a weird looking crash and it looks quite bad. But obviously he then reported instantly. He's okay. Drivers were questioning, was he alright? Was everything alright? It was a bit of a weird looking moment because we haven't really seen that spectacle in F1 yet. It's a weird sight to see, but obviously he was all good. Wasn't really much else happening throughout the race. I think could have sprinkled in a safety car or two. That would have been very fun. Not just a virtual safety car at the end, but an actual safety car throughout it. Could have mixed it up and spiced it up. But I think all in all, Carlos Sainz deserved his win. He deserved to dominate the way that he did. And I think in all, it's probably the right thing for F1. F1 needed someone else to taste the victory. And now we need another victory. And then we need more stuff as well. And I know I don't want to hate on the Red Bulls for their dominance. It's not their fault for their dominance. It's everyone else's downfall. But if Ferrari are going to put it together and challenge them, this is what we need. And when you're looking at Perez, I think he's got to be worried about where his seat is, because right now he looks like he can lose his seat. So he's going to lose his seat, and he doesn't really demand his seat anywhere else, but a man that does is Carlos Sainz. And I think Carlos Sainz more than deserves a seat in F1. I think Mercedes will be looking at him. Obviously, Mercedes are currently looking at Verstappen. So if Mercedes do get Verstappen, Red Bull are going to be looking for a driver, or at least two drivers. And I think Carlos Sainz is the perfect guy to bring in there as well. Does he want to go back to Red Bull? That's a complete different conversation. Obviously, he has a certain opinion on him, and that's for him to decide. But all in all, congratulations to Carlos Sainz. Coming back off appendicitis surgery. He does look a bit frail and a bit weak all weekend. Obviously, everyone spoke about it. But all in all, the right man won the race. He's deserved it. He earned it. I hope that he gets a good seat in F1 next year, because he deserves to be at the front of the grid competing. Comment down below where you want him to be. Comment where you think he'll be. Do you think Max will move? That's another one as well. And what's the massive changes you're going to see in the grid next year? I'll see you in the next one.